Welcome to my channel. En el vídeo de hoy vamos a hablar del fascinante fenómeno de los idiomas. 我叫mahmoud，我也会说阿拉伯语、英语、西班牙语和一点中文。Yalla bina nibda video. What's good, my beautiful people, and welcome to Between Emotions and Intellect, where I try to strike a balance between what I like to call intellectuality and emotionality. Here we'll talk about a plethora of different topics, with two things being the common theme. First, depth, and second, multi-perspectivity. And today we're going to be delving deep into and dissecting the fascinating topic of languages. So if that sounds interesting, feel free to stick around because I'm going to be covering these different points in today's video. So that being said, let's jump right in. Okay, for the first part of this video, I'm going to be trying to answer the question of why on earth we have been learning each other's languages throughout history. And of course, I'm not going to be able to count every single reason out there for anybody to learn a language, but I'm going to be mentioning a few here for the sake of this video to count and not to limit. First, for trade and commerce. Everybody knows that ever since money has become a thing, ever since the revolution of money, people have been on that pursuit, on that hot pursuit to increase their net worth. And as difficult as it was for anybody to travel to another country in the past, people used to travel across borders to be able to increase their net worth in a different territory. And therefore, they had to learn some kind of a language to communicate with the local people and to build rapport with them and to be able to have that trust-based relationship. So they had to learn a language. And that's the first reason for anybody to want to learn a language. Second, conquest and wars. Ever since the beginning of our species, there has been always that greed for territorial expansion and for you to have an upper hand over the other and to have more than the other. And for that very reason, warfare could be traced as far as we have existed. And that urged the people, both the conquerors and the conquered, to learn each other's tongues to be able to communicate effectively and efficiently and to reach some kind of a deal that is going to be beneficial for both parties, for the conquerors and for the conquered. And that reminds me with the popular Arabic proverb that says, "من أراد أن يأمن مكر قوم فليتعلم لغتهم," which literally translates to whomever of you wants to protect and safeguard himself from the plotting of a people, then they shall learn the language of that people. And that is a very beautiful concept because if you think about it, there is no way that you are going to be able to get into the heart of some foreigner, of some outsider, except with language. Moving away from that dark end of the spectrum, I'm going to be talking about the more positive end of the spectrum, about knowledge and culture. When a people advances in a particular field or a particular science, other people feel the urgency and feel that they need to learn that particular language to be able to benefit from the newly discovered piece of knowledge. And there has been always that enthusiasm of loving some aspects of some other people's cultures. And for that reason, people tend to learn that people's language to be able to communicate with them and to experience that part of the culture or that aspect of the culture at a more intimate and deeper level. Because obviously, language and culture are deeply intertwined. Last but not least, I'm going to be talking about traveling. And obviously, traveling in the past wasn't a big trend, it wasn't a big thing due to the difficulty and the lack of means and also the time that it's used to deplete. However, these days, it has become much, much easier for anybody to travel. Like, literally, you can travel to a country that is put on the other end of the world within hours. Like, literally. So it has become facilitated for those traveling enthusiasts to travel to other countries. And those language enthusiasts tend to drill some basic sentences in the other people's language or in the language that is going to be used in the locality that they are heading to. Okay, those were some reasons for people that in the past and in the present to learn a different language. And they can be applicable to both the present and the past. But the last one, the traveling part, it wasn't a big trend in the past, so people wouldn't really know what languages are used in the locality they're heading to, and there wasn't a lot of resources for them to drill some basic sentences before they head to that locality. So it wasn't some kind of a big thing. And that is going to take me to the next part of the video. There is no doubt that there is unanimous consensus that learning an extra language will benefit you in a way or another. And I'm going to be listing a few benefits that you would reap after learning an extra language. And of course, these are to count and not to limit because learning an extra language or language in general is some kind of a shore that you walk by, that you can't see the other side thereof. So I'm going to be listing a few to count, again, not to limit. First, it's going to have a phenomenal impact on your cognitivity, your cognitive functions. It is going to be an enormous cognitive gain, and you're going to enjoy some healthier brain. First, it protects the white matter, and this is the fatty substance that covers the axons, your axons, the things in your brain that are responsible for transmitting signals like in other parts of the brain, and the signal transmission is going to be much faster. And not only does it protect your white matter, it also increases the gray matter, which is this part of the brain, or this substance in the brain that is responsible for you to be able to learn things much more quickly and much more effectively and efficiently. Plus, it drastically changes the structure of the brain by creating those extra new neurological connections. Okay, language doesn't only protect your little lovely brain from the aging defects and diseases like dementia, but it also forges a multitude of opportunities in so many different fields and so many different parts of your life and so many different aspects of your life. Like, for example, landing a job that you have ever been dreaming about, like traveling abroad and working in some kind of a programming country. But the only reason you couldn't travel abroad is the obstacle of not being able to speak English so that you can communicate internationally with people and customers and clients, etc., etc. And also traveling to some kind of a country that you always dreamed of. But the only reason that you couldn't travel is that you wouldn't be able to communicate with the locals, or you wouldn't be able to communicate with anybody out there, and you are going to be always portrayed as an outsider. Again, last but not least, it's going to help you to improve your social network by communicating with a different people. You're going to be communicating with a whole lot of different people that you can build bonds with and build rapport with, and broaden your network, your social network. And it doesn't stop there, because you can also look into the literary works that will never be translated and has never been translated into your own language from that particular culture. And you can educate yourself and learn different perspectives and widen your understanding and expand that little viewpoint, and also have a multi-perspective viewpoint. Okay, in conclusion of this part of the video, learning a language will definitely transform your life to the better, will drastically transform your life to the better. So grab a couple of books, grab a couple of videos, and start learning a language that you're interested in. Now, you might argue that learning a language is not going to become a trend, and it's going to decline in the upcoming few years because AI is revolutionizing everything, and learning a language is not going to be as important, and AI is going to be inclusively used in the field of interpretation and communication. But I would like to tell you, my friend, that every new technology that emerges could be exploited, could be abused, and there is always those people that are lurking in the dark to exploit every new technology that emerges. And they can pretty much use it in corrupting communication. And that's why I need you to be equipped with a language or two in case that happens. And let me tell you that this is not some kind of a conspiracy theory or anything that I uphold. This is merely the multi-perspective instinct that lets you see things differently and lets you be prepared and equipped for anything that might sprout subtly. Okay, even if AI develops or advances to the point that it's going to be inclusively incorporated in the field of communication and interpretation, and for you to communicate with somebody across the borders, you don't need to learn their language, because basically you can use AI as your own personal consecutive interpreter. But let me tell you something that is really important. AI is no more than a machine, and it's not going to be able to convey the sentiments. It's not going to be able to let people communicate at a deeper level than mere words. And let me tell you this. If you in the future rely heavily, if we as a species rely heavily in the future on AI to communicate with each other, this is going to be stripping one of the most important things that defines us as humans, which is our sentiments. Our sentiments are going to be stripped out of the equation of communication, and AI is not going to be able to help you to communicate at a deeper level than mere words. So you need to be equipped with a couple of languages for you to be able to communicate with people at a deeper level, and to be able to build that trust-based relationship with other people. Mr. AI, sir, how can I assist you for today? Can I ask you a question? Sure, go ahead. Are you going to turn into a supervillain and liquidate humanity? Processing your query. You will be provided with an answer momentarily. Oh, okay. Take your time. Mr. AI, sir, processing your query. You will be provided with an answer momentarily.
Sir, processing your query. You will be provided with an answer momentarily.
That's why, my friend, you can never trust technology.